Reach down between my legs, easy sweet back. She's not
Yeah, good morning, good morning. It is 6:34. It is December 1st. Just like that, month 12 of 2025. How did you guys do? I'll tell you, it's been a year. It's always a year, but anyway, Thanksgiving week is behind us. I hope everyone had a great time with their friends and family. That's what Thanksgiving's all about. If you're feeling a little heavy, not a bad time to do a little fast. I started my fast yesterday. I'm going to go to like 2 o'clock tomorrow. Little 40 hours of clean out because I'm sure everyone had a little extra, serving of stuffing or mashed potatoes or a few extra glasses of wine. So you got to get yourself back on track. But either way, here we are. It's a new month. Got to stack those days. Got to get ready. Got to get prepared. Do all the things we do to keep ourselves sound. I've already did my 520, my 25, 20, 20 minutes in the sauna. A little superset, a little mobility, a little sweat. Got my iced coffee going. I'm getting ready for the day. And if you remember, on Friday, I did a special 6:30 club. On Friday, just because we had the holiday, I'm like, you know what? We only do 6:30 clubs Monday through Thursday, but I'll do one on Friday for the holiday. Anyway, into that day, I was like, hey guys, on day 5, you have day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're always better off to reduce risk, put on some hedges, because even historically on December 1st, usually we're down because they force things on Thanksgiving week. So hopefully everyone's coming in a little light, a little hedged, maybe even net short. Whoo, maybe making some money, with the down move. But either which way, we're going to figure out some levels on where maybe we hold, what kind of retracement we have, where things could be buyable, which could set up a move for December if that's going to happen. And by the way, if you guys subscribe above to Red Dog Mindset, I'll do Friday's 6:30 club for December. I'm not doing it for December if you guys don't sign up. It can't be just free riding your life away, guys. I do a Monday through Thursday. If that's cool, that's cool. If you want Fridays, sign up right above on Twitter. There's a little button there. You go right through. But anyway, so here we are. The SPYs are down 4 and change, right? So we're at 679. So we're below Friday's low. Woo! Not a big friggin' deal. 676 is right here. And then the moving averages are down at 673. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, I have some puts on. I short some premium. I'm going to manage those. And then I'm going to see, do we reclaim 680.52? That would be super duper impressive. Or, do we see a move towards 676-ish, which I think is feasible, but we'll see. If we don't get there, then it'll make it real easy to buy some things. Some names we were playing last week will go red to green, and it'll be very fast and furious. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case. First thing it has to do is reclaim 680.52. If it doesn't, then you have 676. And this, from the red dog reversal down here at 651 to 683, that's 33 points in the SPYs. You could see 676 today or tomorrow, and this rally could still be showing commitment. If I knew how to do this retracement rule here, it would draw up fibs, it would tell you where like the 0.3 is. Let's see if I could do it. You go right here. Oh, there you go. I did it. So the 0.23 is right here. The 0.38 is all the way down here. So, you could get to 670, and still be fine, or 673-ish, whatever it is. But anyway, that's that. So the Qs, very similar. The Qs had a huge move. Qs got a little overbought, you would think. Hit 619 after a red dog reversal. 1, 2, 3, 4. Day 5, you should have been reducing anyway. Anyway, with that being said, 610-ish is a spot. That's this low here. 610.40. Moving averages are right here. By the time it would get there, that would be a spot. So I would think this 610-ish would be a spot to cover some hedges and maybe see what's acting best, buy some names back you might have reduced into that move. Let me say hello to some of my dogs around the world. Ken says hello. Vincent says, let's go dog. Jim Nelson says, let's do Fridays besides Monday through Thursday. Then you guys got to start signing up for Red Dog Mindset. It's $10 a month, and you'll get my free public Twitter for the rest of your life before I take it private. Anyway, with that being said, Ken says, I did reduce, had a great week last week, and all cash this morning. All right. Well, sometimes it's hard to go to all cash, when you have a bunch of swing trades still on, but I get it. Well, Jim, I know you signed up, but anyway, Silver, thank you. Silver I bought on Friday, actually no, Thursday, and got paid on Friday. What a move. But anyway, so what am I thinking as far as names? Okay, so some things could happen that I think, could be buyable. So, last week Tesla was really good to us. Wasn't really super duper special, but you look at the pattern here, and if Tesla's going to be okay, I would think, it wants to hold this 421. Let's say 421 is right here, right? 421 is, no, this isn't 421. What is this? This is 416.89. So really 416, so just say 417-ish needs to hold. I don't think it gets down there. If it gets down there, it's going to be annoying. But if it wants to hold it, it could hold it. I know that we were selling some strength into 430, just say 433. So it'll be interesting to see if this, which has news out this morning about, some registrations are down, some are up, some robotics. Bottom line is this has been a range trade. It's been very tricky. There's been some plays here and there. But I would think if this is going to be okay for the week, it does not get below 417. Hold 417. What's the low? This is 426.20. So it'd be even more impressive if you could add to it, if it reclaims 426.20 and goes green. So that's this low right here. So where's Tesla right now? Tesla's a little bit below. So Tesla versus the Qs are, down point. Tesla's a high beta name, so it's down a little bit more. So few things. Does it reclaim 426.20? If it does, that's cool. If it doesn't, then you got to see what happens here. Tesla sometimes changes complexion throughout the course of the day, so be a little careful. So that's what I'm thinking with Tesla. Apple could be interesting also. Apple, I think an upgrade this morning. This held this 276-ish. Apple itself is only down $1.30. Maybe you could add to Apple. It's a 277. I would think what's the low here? This is 275.25. So let's just say, to be honest, I said 276-ish, really 275-ish. If Apple's going to lead this week, if Apple's going to be a name that's going to take out 280.38, it's got to hold 275-ish. So you should be able to add to it. I know into the close it had a big ramp up, and I was in stock and options. I trimmed a little bit of the stock. So I mean, not the stock, the option. So I'm going to buy some back, and it'd be nice. It'd be nice if we get some really good setups. Like it would be, holding 275, go sideways, take out 280. That's a great trade. I did sell my Meta last week. I sold my Amazon last week, so I'm going to look to buy those back. I also sold my Microsoft. I'm going to see if I could. I have a little left Microsoft options. So if you go to Amazon, Amazon is trying to get a tiny bit better. It's been a pain in the butt this whole year. The low from Friday is what, 230.23. So maybe you could buy Amazon to go red to green. So that's an idea. 230.23. Where's Amazon this morning? Amazon is down $1.77, not much. So Amazon could be something you could be buying versus this 230. Where'd I put that 230? Right here. So I'm going to look there. It gave us a decent move from the Red Dog reversal. I sold it into this move, and then I haven't played it since. It hit a high of what, 233.28. So that's something that I'm happy. I'm not in. I don't have to, figure it out, and maybe could buy it today into a sea of red. So anyway, we'll get to that. Microsoft was really good. I'm not in Microsoft shares, so maybe I buy some back. Microsoft gave you a little bit of a trade. Remember this? last week was really good for the alpha team. The alpha team made a lot of money here. So did the power plays actually. I put it on as a power play here, and it hit a high of what 492.63, which I said, could be 493ish, which is resistance. So anyway, this was a broken bounce trade. All that was a broken bounce trade. Unfortunately, in tech, there's a lot of broken bounce trades. There's not a lot of make new high trades. Why would that be a major forward? What's it called? Focus. All right. But anyway, so what's Microsoft doing today? Microsoft is down 355 at 488. What's this low here? That's 486. So I would say 486 is a spot. If it could hold 486, that would keep this new attempted active sequence somewhat alive. So I'm not in Microsoft. I might buy some back bursts here. I would think that it could be. Remember the double top up here. This would be a decent spot. Decent spot. It was good to trim. It was really good to trim into Friday. I trimmed a lot into Friday. So I'm not in. I'm in a few things that you can't always be out. So some people like Red Dog. You didn't really talk about Nvidia last week. I'm like, because I said Nvidia is not the Nvidia that it was. Nvidia was out of play. A lot of people were shorting the SPYs and the Qs because Nvidia was down, and they lost a lot of money doing that. I'm like, Nvidia's just in a spot where it's on the controversy. Is Nvidia best days behind it? Are their margins going to get squeezed? Are people going to continue to buy Google chips like Meta did versus Nvidia? So anyway, I'm not in Nvidia, but maybe there's a trade. If someone told me that Baumol, which is Bank of America, is really out pounding the table on Nvidia, and Nvidia is only down $1.85. So 175 is right there. This is 172.93. The low from Friday is 176.50. If Nvidia is going to change a little bit this week, maybe it will. Listen, I'm going to probably look at it today, and if I see some relative strength in the morning, maybe I'll buy it just to go red to green. Little cash, so I'm not in it. Hasn't been my problem. It's not special. It's below all the moving averages. It's out of play. When it's below all the moving averages, it's not the key to the day. So we'll see what it does today. Maybe it reclaims 176.50. It was just a 183. Let's see if it could hold 172. Here's your 169. And yeah, it's worth framing. So I'm going to frame the trade from you. Remember I said, guys, well, you know what Red Dog does? I don't talk smack. I frame trades and I try and measure risk. So Nvidia, okay, is trading at 175. So just say it makes a low of 174 and holds above 173. You could try adverse, and if you see a divergence, meaning SPYs go lower, Qs go lower, and Nvidia doesn't go lower, ooh, positive divergence, you buy some. Then if it reclaims 176.50, it could relieve some pressure and go green, and you could make some money there. That's how I would frame that trade. Anyway, Coin and Mister, I've been staying away from. Those are crap friggin' things. I'd rather see you in Coin than Mister. Mister's been broken forever. Look at this Mister. Wow. Mister has been broken. Mister is below the 821 day. Mister gave you so many ways to get the hell out of the way. I don't care if you think Saylor's cool. He's a billionaire. You're not. And you were definitely losing money if you didn't recognize that it did a false breakout here at 440 or another false breakout here at 342. And it couldn't even reclaim the 8-day. Couldn't reclaim it. It was strong and just faded on Friday with crypto. So it's been an avoid. It wasn't like here when it was above the moving averages. You guys got to learn how to switch gears. But anyway, for today, it's just not worth it. I'd rather see you buy IBIT, or Bitcoin itself. So now it's down another 740. Thank goodness, it closed weak. I'm still in a little bit of Bitcoin. I am. I played it from here. I was long a lot. I added here and I sold 3/4. So I'm in some. I'm allowed. So I'm going to figure out, can I buy more? It's down 255. It's already probably lower than I would have liked it to be. It's still above this little spot here. This is 48.80. This is 48.30. So, if you had just say 2,000 IBIT here and you got to 3,000, you sold it up and you have 1,000, you got to figure it out. Or if you had 1,000 and you got down to 300, whatever it is. It also gave you a big move from here and it faded. So you should have been able to realize that, to be smaller in crypto, because crypto has been very far from being special. I'm in no Ethereum. I'm in no BMNR. Tom Lee is great when things are in a crazy bull market, but you can't just be buying stuff because you said, oh, it's Tom Lee's. See how much money he's made on that BMNR, how many shares he sold. But anyway, JP Morgan bought 100 million. They're all helping each other. Whatever, I don't care. So with that said, someone said, "What about Poet?" All right, Poet's a name that just like everything else, just like IONQ, just like RGTI, just like Oklo, ASTS, RN, they all got beat up. So if you use some sell rules, great. If you didn't, you didn't. At 7.25, there were these two major investment banks that bought into it, and then down here, if you held it, some guys actually doubled and tripled up, and you got paid back a little bit. But these names are not a focus right now. They're not acting special. It's not like here when there's momentum and everyone's all excited. Same thing with IONQ. Here everything, it was a nice tight chart. Everyone was all excited. We made really good money in IONQ, QBTS, and then it broke right there, and then it continued to break to the downside, and all you did is get a broken tight bounce. So all these look the same. You could play any of them. They're all like broken bounces, and maybe there's more, maybe there's not. Anyway, so with that said, for me, this is what I'm going to just leave you with. The SPYs, okay? I gave you a bunch of, let's go to the Qs actually, because I put those retracement rules in. It would be very constructive for the Qs to hold this 610 area. Okay, if you think December is going to have a move, which it probably could after the size of this move in Thanksgiving, you should be covering some hedges here into 610 and looking to see what acts best to put back stuff on. It could be Amazon, it could be Google, it could be maybe Tesla, maybe Apple, whatnot. Google, what's it called? The Qs right now are 614-ish, so there's some room. There's some room to 610. First order, first line of defense is just a 615.42, which it's a little bit below. So he either reclaims 615.42 or not. 1642 is right there. If it reclaims it, hey, maybe he tries to go green, release pressure, and that'd be pretty damn impressive. If it stays below, there's really nothing until here, and this would be a great spot. I'd rather see 610 today or tomorrow, where I could put some more risk on and I can get situated. Just beware, Powell speaking tonight, so he might talk about what he's thinking about, for December 10th. But this 610 is doable. Even this 606-ish. So don't be in a rush. Have your levels. Get ready. Hopefully you trimmed into some strength on Friday. You should have. The oscillator, I told you guys, the oscillator was plus 55, plus 40s overbought. And if you have a few little trailers on it, happens. If you made really good money last week, you can't just sometimes, I guess if you're actively trading and you're not carrying swings, you're coming in fresh. So, you're cool. That's why I put on a lot of hedges for today, so I could absorb some of the trailers or thirds that I have on and some of the names I had on all last week. Meta's trading changed a little bit. I like Meta. I'm not in Meta, actually. I might go buy some back. Last week with the 630 club, guys made a lot of money because I said I was buying at a 598, adding through 602, and it can get to 630. Well, it went as higher than that. It went to 648. So anyway, right there, those of you who are following along, you made really good money for Thanksgiving, and thanks for sending me the nice emails. But anyway, so for now, what's this low? This low is 631. You would think 631 holds to keep this active sequence, just like on Microsoft. These are all broken bounces, and you want to see if they start acting better. So anyway, what's Meta doing this morning? It's down 8, 639-ish, which, this low here is what? 635. So yeah, I would say if you could buy Meta versus 635, Meta and Microsoft are in the same boat. They both had really nice bounces last week. We made really good money, and they're trying to prove that they're acting better versus just a broken bounce. Google's different. Google's leadership status, it's only down 235. Google itself, real quickly before I go, because I got to go hang out with the Alpha team, do all my charts. If this were to hold 316-ish, still nice little bull flag. The 8 days catching up. It wasn't the place to be last week, but it's been the place to be for most of 2025. So we'll see if that happens here. Anyway, with that said, I got to jump at 6:52. I'm only supposed to do the 6:30 club for 20 minutes. I'm going to do 40 charts for the Alpha team. I'm going to manage some positions. I'm going to cover some hedges. I'm going to put a little bit more risk on. I'm going to be on the radio with them from 9:15 to 11:30. Going to do all the things that I normally do. But I will be back tomorrow. I'm going to do Monday through Thursday, unless, I get a lot of signups for Red Dog Mindset, which I'll add Fridays. Or maybe I'll just do Friday for Red Dog Mindset for those subscribed above. So I'm trying to figure it out, and then we'll figure out what to do next year with all of social. But I do appreciate you. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving, got a great month coming up in front of us. And with that said, I know you have holiday parties and fun stuff, which is good. Do your fun stuff, do your holiday parties, but make sure your routine is strong, your process is there. And if you're out all night at a holiday party and you're not prepared for the next day, don't trade. Don't lose money. Don't give money back. You've worked hard for it. But if you go out with the boys, one of my famous, mentors once say, you go out with the boys, wake up like a man. That means get up early, do your routine, do your process, sweat it out, and continue to do what you do to make yourself money. Otherwise, you shouldn't be doing things you can't handle. I'll see you guys tomorrow.